We've not got one, we've not got two, and we've not got three, but we've got four warning lights on this Mazda. Let's get this one figured out. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. It is now 2025. I hope everyone had a good Christmas and New Year. We are at our first job of 2025. Today is Tuesday, but we're back yesterday, Monday, but we didn't manage to get anything filmed. We've got a Mazda, it's a CX-3, and the customer complaint with this one is multiple warnings on the dash. It's had a ABS sensor and a wheel bearing, but the faults are still present. So let's see if we can get this one diagnosed and get it back on the road. So first things first, we're going to get the top down Phoenix X-Link plugged into the car. We're going to do a health scan and see what fault codes we've got. Because it's had a back wheel bearing and ABS sensor, we're more than likely going to be doing checks at the back of the car. But first of all, let's get a health scan done, and that'll kind of help us trace, or help us at least pinpoint what wheel it is or what kind of fault we're actually dealing with here. Alright, so we're on the main topology screen here. We're just going to do a high speed scan, look at that, done in a matter of seconds. Absolutely brilliant. So I can show you that again. Come off, clear the screen, high speed scan, boom, look at that. No waiting about. System scans, waiting about for 30 seconds for it to do a scan is old days now. So let's go ABS. We have got two fault codes there, C0037, left rear wheel speed sensor. We've got pretty much the same fault code there, left rear wheel speed sensor. So we know that we're dealing with an issue on the left rear, and we're going to be dealing with that today. So just before we go to the back wheels, we've also got a whole load of faults here. Now if you do get a fault on your car, and you also have a load of different faults in other modules, you will usually experience invalid data fault codes received from the ABS system. So do not worry if you scan your car and you've got fault codes in each different sort of control module, because they will all talk to each other and it will usually report invalid data from whichever control module is the main issue. Now when dealing with ABS faults, I would advise checking live data. This is going to tell you a hell of a lot of things. So you can see that we've picked up the 4 wheel speeds on the vehicle, and you can also see that wheel speed sensor left rear is showing a default value of 255, and the rest are showing 0, which is what the vehicle is currently sitting at now. Now this would also be handy if you had a faulty wheel bearing. So if the wheel bearing was damaged on the pickup, you can also graph the live data, which you can then look for dropouts on the graph, and that will tell you which one is shown as faulty and what one actually needs replaced. So let's crack on. We'll go to the rear left and we'll get that wiring checked, make sure everything is alright. If it's not, then we're looking for an open circuit. Now I don't know about you mobile guys as well, but I'm always looking for something quicker to get access to without having to lie on the floor. So what I've done is I've just removed this side trim here, and that gives us access into the ABS connector, because from the wheel, so onto the actual hub itself, it's just straight cable all the way up, and then it plugs on the interior. So it's pretty basic, and what we can do is do our tests from the inside, and that saves us having to climb underneath and just kind of muck about in all the muck and the frost. So we're going to do our tests there. They're simple. Make sure there's 12 volts there. If there is 12 volts, is there a possibility with this car? I think it's City Park or something like that. Maybe it's got the wrong ABS sensor fitted. We've had that before, so very strange if a wire was to break internally in here, but never say never. So let's get the multimeter on there and let's check that we've got voltage going to the sensor and then yeah, we'll just confirm to see if there's any other things going wrong here. And for that we're just going to use the old snap-on meter. This meter's been through the wars. You can see it's got a couple of burn marks and that on it. This is one of the meters I trained on as well, so I've made quite a lot of mistakes using this meter. I'm surprised it's actually still going, to be honest. And I'll need to get my leads, which I believe are in the AES wave kit, so let's get them out, get the wiring tested. Well, it does not look like this video is going to come too much. As soon as I got my multimeter out here, so got my multimeter ready, and what I decided to do was just move the plug. So I've lifted it off where it slides into the actual frame of the body itself, and the wheel speed's dropped to where it's meant to. And the warning lights, hopefully you can see, are off. So has this just been maybe a pin fitment issue inside the plug? Right, so this thing is driving me nuts now. So I went to take it a run and still no speed from that left rear wheel speed sensor. It's showing 0, which it wasn't doing before. It was showing, you know, a default 255 speed, but it still won't pick up speed. So what I've ended up doing is just to rule out the wiring. I know the wiring's fine because I've got battery voltage there, but just to rule out the wiring and the ABS pump, what I've done is I have taken the wiring from this side, so the left rear, and I've put it onto the ABS sensor at the offside rear. That is just for me, for peace of mind, to know that obviously the wiring on the left rear is good and the ABS pump is good as well, because it can pick up that speed from the offside rear as well, because I've obviously put, not trying to confuse the situation, I've obviously put the left rear wiring onto the offside rear sensor, so it is able to pick up that speed. I'm just going to show you that now, and I'll just show you that on live data. So if I go into speed, so if I go into left rear, click OK, graph it, start the car up obviously, and hopefully I'll be able to focus. So you can see that it is picking up speed. So the wiring's good. There's got to be something wrong with the new ABS sensor or the wheel bearing that's been fitted. There's got to be something wrong. Very unlikely to be the wheel bearing. It's got to have an issue with the new ABS sensor, the new part, and it's a genuine unit. So this is the setup I've got here. So right here is the sensor for the offside rear. I've just connected that in with 2 leads from the AES wave kit. And I'm using my Warwick test supplies. These are, I think, 5 metres long, and it's going into the near side rear supply, so the actual plug for the sensor. That rules out the wiring, and basically the only thing we've got left is we've got a faulty new genuine sensor, or something's went wrong with the wheel bearing. But the fact that it was reading 255 before, that pinpoints it as an electrical issue within the sensor itself. Right, so on that Mazda, they're going to recheck our work just to be 100% sure. Obviously with us taking the wiring from the side that's shown as faulty, putting it onto the ABS sensor at the other side, and it is able to read speed, then that kind of confirms the fault is at somewhere on the wheel or the new ABS sensor. Now it is a genuine sensor that was fitted, so it might just be a faulty new part, but I will update you on a future video on that one once I find out. So is that our next job this morning? Just arrived at Parts Plus, and we're going to be showing you a very common issue that we're coming across on the newer Ford Fiestas. So the Fiesta that we're going to has no tail lights, so have a little guess in the comments if you think you know what it is. The next time you see me will be at the customer's car. And here we are, we've got a new shape Ford Fiesta, And if you guessed right in the comments, we've got no tail lights, and this is a part that we're replacing. Now, I've made a video on this before, maybe a year or two back. Very, very common. I've replaced loads of these now. What I end up doing is just replacing both sides. They are very, very simple to replace, and very, like I say, is very common. Now, what happens is they fail inside that sort of resin, that sort of epoxy there. The actual bulb holder is the part that fails. Now, not even really any point in trying to repair it because the parts are fairly priced, so more or less a kind of easy, cheap fix. Now, getting the tail lamp out of these is very simple as well. You've just got a wee sort of connector that slots into there. You can see that on the back of the tail lamp. And then all you've got in here is this wee slot. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but I will try. I've got a little slot in here with a plain screwdriver bit on it, or a 10mm socket. And you can just screw that out. And then it's just a case of removing the old harnesses. Like I says, they fail in here. And mostly the tail lamps, to be honest with you. They fail in there, and like I say, it's not really worth repairing, is it? Now, Halfords did put new bulbs in each side. You can even see there's a wee bit of corrosion there actually. Halfords did put new bulbs in each side. Unfortunately, didn't solve the issue, so we know that the bulbs are good, so we're just going to swap the wiring harnesses over to the new tail lamps and be done with it. Right, so you can see we've got our new bulbs in the new harness. And what we're going to do is get the connectors slid in. Now, you do need 2 hands for this. Try to find the right notch. So you can see that slid in nice there. Got the other one which slides in there, and then this little piece here just pushes in, and that is you done. Just need to connect it back up to the car and you'll have working tail lights. I'm going to end the video there, guys. Thanks for watching. Hopefully next week we'll bring a bit more interesting content and I'll be able to record a bit more footage. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. Like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers!